But
Right.
let's talk about the war for a minute, though. I remember a little bit about the war. We had a victory garden. We grew corn, and we had to grow it in multiple rows because corn is sexist. You have to have the right. You have to have enough. They don't self-pollinate, so you had to cross-pollinate them. So we had to have enough corn so that they could pollinate. We grew green beans. We grew tomatoes. We grew. Yeah, well, you're right. We grew something about a berry. What was it?
They were along the garage. We had the gooseberries.
Gooseberries.
The little round ones that had little like an eye line in it, like a cat's
Yep.
eye line in it.
And we had chickens, and we sold eggs. I remember going around selling the dozen eggs for 35 cents a dozen. We would sell them to the neighborhood because they couldn't get the eggs in the city.
Interesting that it was 35 cents a
I
dozen.
know.
Because
The cost of food has really not gone up that much. But we would sell the egg. I would sell the eggs. They would send me around. I'd have a little list of the different homes I would deliver the eggs to.
Wow.
And we'd pick the eggs out of the chickens, go right underneath the chickens, and get the warm eggs. And we would have chicken.
Did the chickens mind?
No, the chickens didn't seem to mind very much. We just stole their eggs, and they seemed to be okay. They laid another one next day, and they would lay, I don't know, an
Easy
egg.
come, easy go.
Yeah, and we had chickens. We ate chickens, but I remember when we first ate chickens, because we were very upset about it. We had a bunch of chickens. My father killed the first chicken, and he killed it the kosher way.
He wrung its neck.
No, that's not the way it's done.
No?
No, they hang it up, and he gets a special knife, which he got from someone in New York, that was made to cut its throat. And he cut its throat, and a drain of blood and all that. Did it the right way.
Did anybody eat the chicken?
Oh yeah, well that was a problem. We got the chicken in, and Mother didn't know how to do it, so Dad had to show her. We had to take the feathers off. Then they have pin feathers, and you have to burn the pin feathers off.
It smells.
And then then the problem was that it was the first time, and this chicken had a name, and we couldn't eat it.
Right.
We discovered that you can eat chicken, but you can't eat Charlie. Don't name a chicken that you're going to eat. Well, this is a story that Mother told about her childhood.
Right.
She said that when they went shopping for fish, there was not much refrigeration. So they give you the fish live in a bucket, and you carry it home in a bucket of water. When you got home, they kept it in the bathtub, alive, swimming around. So when you went to eat it, you killed it then. So it was really fresh, but you didn't have to worry about refrigeration. I remember when we had an ice box. I remember the iceman delivering ice, and Dad would show me how with an ice pick you cut up the ice and you put it in the ice box for the ice. I remember the washing machine that went and there was a ringer on top.
I
And
remember when we got the new one.
Right,
We had
that's right.
the little black and white one was the first one we
The
had.
first one we had was this kind of a little ringer, and the second one was electric.
Yeah, and
Right.
you could put the clothes through it this way.
Right. When you say electric, what that really means is that it had a ringer. It had its hub, a round tub.
Right.
And on the top, you had this device, which was just two rolls where you
That's right.
run
Two
the
rollers.
That's right.
clothes, and you take the clothes out, and you
Right.
fit it in here, and electrically, it would just
It would pull it through,
that.
right.
You do it a couple of times.
But we had solar drying on our clothes.
Yes, we
we
did.
We
Very
always-
ecological.
That's right. It was always dry. The clothes were always dried on a clothesline.
And we had a back porch, and Dad had hooked it up from the garage, because it was a one-car garage with no car in the garage, so that Mom could pull the cord. She didn't have to get off the porch.
And years later, all the pulleys that were on that became my toys.
I still have them.
I bet.
Also, and I remember also we flew kites. We didn't say we didn't have toys, but we would make a kite. And Dad would show us how to make the kites and how to fly the kites and how to send a message up to the kite on the string.
And do you
How
remember
about
once?
making whistles out of
Do you remember when
Peach Pits?
Dad bought this Target kite, this big blue kite? He brought it home from surplus or someplace,
surplus.
and this silly thing was taller than I was. I wasn't very tall, but this thing must have been 4 feet tall, and it was sort of a tough blue canvas thing, and only Dad could hold it because once you put it up in the air,
You had
it
to pull
takes
on it,
Dad,
it's
who's
an
200 plus pounds, to hold it.
Well, Dad got a lot of surplus stuff, I remember.
Yeah.
When he worked for the Navy Yard, he would bring back stuff from the Navy Yard. I'm not sure that was exactly kosher, but we had a lot of stuff from the Navy Yard.
I thought those were part of the benefits.
Oh, I think you're right.
Yeah.
But
Well- Oh, okay. Father's store. Let's see. It was either next door or 2 doors down from Tank's Bakery. Remember Tank's Bakery?
oh yeah, it was across. It's this little street in between. Tank's
There was
Bakery was. Was it on the same little block?
I
or
think it was on the same street,
it-
but I
yeah.
could be wrong.
Welding goggles and
That's
all
what
kinds of
it's
things.
like.
Yeah.
When we lived in Farmingdale, if Dad knew how to pack it, he should have known Barbara. We had the first above ground swimming pool ever. Nobody ever had
Nobody
one.
had one, that's
We
right.
had one because it was a water surplus tank or something.
No, it was a gasoline tank.
Gasoline tank.
Yeah, it was a gasoline
300
tank.
gallon.
Oh no.
Oh no.
3,000
Oh,
gallons
no.
or 3
Oh, no, no, no.
30,000.
No, the thing was 5 feet tall.
Yeah, it
Or
was.
6
Wasn't-
feet tall.
No, wasn't.
I think
No, it's
I
4
think we
feet
were
tall.
small.
No, I
It was
could
4
sta-
feet
I
tall.
could stand-
Yeah, it's 4
I
feet.
could stand up in it.
Yeah,
so
it's
it
4
wasn't
Okay,
feet
4 feet
tall.
4 feet tall. And it must have been 20 feet across.
You were
That's all.
very little.
It was about 3 feet tall, and it was like about maybe 8 or 10
Yeah.
feet. It
I
was,
Yeah, that's probably right.
I think you're closer. I think you're closer.
it was
But what
diameter.
it was is it was originally a sealed rubber tank with a huge brass valve on it, and Dad had to
Right.
cut the top off the tank. Otherwise, we couldn't swim in it. It was a sealed tank, and so we would jump in then and swim in it. And it had this humongous brass valve on it that probably was worth a fortune. And we came with a kit to repair it in case it broke holes. So we had that early. But even before that, Dad came back with apparently, I wasn't there. The warships had used a special, extremely sensitive earphone as a microphone and an earphone, and the whole ships were wired like that. So we wired the house with them. We had the whole house in Franklin Square wired with little earphones that would act as microphones or earphones. And Bruce Ruckett and I would wire the house, could listen in on every room in the house. And
Oh.
we'd be in the basement.
I saw that movie. It was a Slither. Yeah.
Anyway, it was a lot of fun. You want to talk also about our relationships? I mean, I don't remember. I remember taking Mary Ann to the movies
When we were in
in
Farmingdale.
Brackett Square.
And in Farmingdale, when I rode me on your bike.
That was later. That was much later.
Yeah.
Brackett Square we went, and the movies, we would walk by Ina and Jerry's house to get to the movie house. And we would walk, I don't know how far it was, it seemed like a long distance then. And we walked to the movies, and I remember not particularly wanting to take her, but that was the rule. If I wanted to go to the movies, I took Mary Ann. And if we went to it, we would see the news there in the movies, and they'd have cartoons after the
But the
movies.
interesting
And there were
thing
double
was that
features.
you walked to the movies.
We walked.
That there was a local theater that,
And there were a lot of people bicycles in the movies. And when we went to school, we did a lot of bicycling. Early we walked, but later on we bicycled to the tour. But I remember going out with Dad when Dad went on. Dad was a salesman, and he would invite me. He always wanted company when he went out on calls. And if he
Poor mother.
And he would get anybody he could to go out on them. And I remember
Except me.
going with him many
I
times.
wasn't invited.
You were never went out with him?
Never invited.
tell
I was
us,
a girl.
tell us about his sales, you just said he's a salesman, what kind
Yeah.
of calls, where did
Well,
he go?
okay.
What-
My earliest memory was when Dad was a milkman, and during the
They only knocked
during the
twice,
Second
I
World
understand.
War, Dad was a milkman. He was trying to get a job that would give him a deferment, and he got a milkman job. And then when he was going to get drafted, he went and got a job selling insulation. And that gave him a deferment because insulation was declared sensitive because it reduced the amount of fuel that people needed for their homes. So he would sell rock wool insulation.
Where was this candy store in this? That was the pre-candy
It's
store?
pre-candy store. Candy store was later.
Yeah, because then you had the Navy Yard.
That's right. And then Dad went to the Navy Yard when it looks like they would have drafted him anyway.
That's why we sold, didn't it?
No. Dad went to get to the Navy Yard, and Dad was drafted, even out of the Navy Yard, as the war ended. Dad got a draft notice. Then the war ended, and that was canceled.
Wow.
The store came afterwards. Dad bought the store after that.
Eh.
Trust me, it was afterwards, because Dad had already come out, had already finished the working in the shipyards. And then after that, then he got the store. And when he
that's
got
when
the store, the war was still,
Petering
was
out.
petering out. Because I remember we couldn't get bubble gum and stuff like that. And we lost the store because of being, we were cheated out of it. There was a Woody,
They were going to buy a bar together in the Rockaways.
right. too. That's how he taught me. I was terrified. I remember being so scared. I couldn't believe how scared I was. He put me on the highway. I just learned to get in the car.
Right.
And I'm on this highway, and this car's coming at me. The problem I had was turning. There's a gradual turn on the highway, and I'm not used to this. I turn sharply. I'm on the grass. Because I didn't know how to judge that gentle turn. And Dad was nonplussed. He said, yeah, turn back. Prince was dragging me around, and I was older. I was 9 years older than you were.
Yeah.
Prince was a powerful dog.
Yeah. Dad had
And,
trouble handling that.
Poor Prince.
But I remember though, Uncle Bill had real problems. See, we had this dog. It was a
Boxer.
boxer, very muscular,
Which
very
Dad brought
very
home
effusive.
from some
Customer. Somewhere.
customer. Yeah. The same way we
That's how
brought
we got
all the
all the
dogs
dogs.
up.
And we were so used to the dog that we didn't pay attention to him anymore. Uncle Bill came to visit us. Uncle Bill is terrified of anything except his little environment. We had the dog tied up, but unbeknownst to us, the dog had broken his collar, his chain, which is normal for the dog. The chain was only steel, and this dog would break them regularly. And he walked into the room that we were there. But we were so used to him, we didn't notice the dog. In the meantime, Bill was terrified. He couldn't speak because he was so scared. In walks the dog. The dog sees Bill, who doesn't know Bill. So naturally, he jumps up on Bill's lap,
This boxer?
the boxer.
Jeez.
First, he puts his head on his lap, and Bill can't move. But Bill didn't
The
know
head with all
anything.
the slobber?
Yeah, but Bill was terrified. So the dog thought he was encouraging him. So the dog climbs. This is a huge dog. The dog is sitting there like this on Bill's lap, licking his face. Bill is having a heart attack. And we just suddenly realized that this is not normal, so we saved Bill. But it took Bill had to recover from this thing. It was a real big thing. Here gives you an insight into Dad. Bill's car had broken down in front of our house. His generator had gone bad. He went to the basement, and he got a new generator and put it in Dad's car. Then he took and then when the generator was in there, it turns out that it didn't fit. So Dad went into the basement and got a different generator. And this fit. And Bill was able to go home. It's amazing.
We were newly married and we were living in this apartment in Plainfield. O'clock in the morning,
That's
get
right.
these pebbles
Pebbles
sitting
on the
on
door
window.
That's right. He said he was nearby. And he was waking us up with pebbles thrown on our window.
He showed up in
We've,
Baltimore saying he was in the neighborhood.
Just to see if the grandchildren.